Listen, a lot of women, especially black women, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I will. In the in our society right now, black women are making a lot more money for the most part than black men. Right? There are a lot of black men who are successful, but for the most part, black women are making the money. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job, and is a good man and is good to you and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay. That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth, right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money, all I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff, you've handled the light bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then. That is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's so hard for a lot of people to take in because that means, no, I need somebody to, who is, they need to make 5 times more and I got to have, well, go on, keep your list, baby.
Yeah.
God bless you. Hope it happens. Go on, keep your list. But when you talk about just someone to love you and support you, I know people whose men can't touch what they make. But when you see them together, that love, that support, that I got you, babe, it's a beautiful thing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to True Black, a place where we give you true black opinions, true black thoughts, and true black perspective on things that really concern and matter to us. Now, this one I wanted to get into because I see this in a way in which I don't see a whole lot of people talking about, and that is the destruction of the black family and how the destruction of the black family is constantly perpetuated through the gender divide that we have between black men and black women. Now, I've mentioned this in other videos that I'm going to post. I'm posting this one quicker because I really wanted to get through to this one. But it's like this country fears black men and black women coming together, because when we come together and we're really united, we're really a threat to everyone else, because we are now getting ourselves out of the bottom of the racial socioeconomic hierarchy and putting ourselves at a higher position, and nobody knows how high we can put ourselves. And that's what this country is afraid of. They don't want us to come together and really be the people that we are destined to be. They don't want that. And with Tyler Perry, although I don't believe that what he said is 100% correct, because it's like he's already incorrect about black women making more than black men. That's not true. And he's wrong. And he's also wrong about trying to get black women to only go with men who can afford to pay a light bill. Now, he was just exaggerating for the sake of, saying something that would get clicks and views. He was not being serious. I am very sure he was not being serious when he said that. But it's like so many black women have taken that, and black men even have taken that to be a very literal thing. And it's not literal. He was literally being figurative. But it's like so many people got in their feelings about it, and they're constantly perpetuating this back and forth between black men and black women so that we don't end up coming together and getting along. Now, the way that I want to describe this is by describing social contracts, things that we agree upon that aren't always defined very clearly. And that is, when you work, you are then becoming the head of the household, and you agree to take on the responsibility of being head of household. That is why when you do your employment papers, your onboarding and whatnot, and you do your taxes, they ask if you are the head of household, because working makes you a head of a household. Making a substantial amount of money makes you head of household. It automatically correlates with that. But I see so many black women who are upset, and like not even just black women, but women in general, but mainly black women, since I'm talking to black people, is that black women really don't like that. They don't like that part in the contract wasn't explained. And it's like, that's why you always got to read the fine print. This dominant society is not going to give you something without taking something in return. And that is what they take in return. They make it so that black women now have to become head of household. And when you look at even the black community back in the day, the black community would send their girls off to school and they would put their boys to work. They would always put their boys to work first, so that the boys can really get in there and start already having businesses or skills or whatnot. And they sent the girls off to school to get like more upstanding jobs and high wage jobs that were just as important as the jobs that the black men were getting. But we still understood that there was a household dynamic where the woman takes care of the household and the children, and the man will also step in and also provide with everything that he has, and also protect that family with his life, which means that his life would be gone before any of his children and his wife. He would always put his life on the line in any situation. And if anything happened, like a tire getting flat, or things getting lost, or something breaking out in a house, or house maintenance, he would always be the one to do all of that. And that was the gender roles that were divided up based on the gender roles of that time. And we were able to survive and thrive off of that. Now we live in a time where it's like they really want to push this black man against black woman thing, and they're making the woman the head of household by giving her a lot of money in these positions and always propping the black woman up to the detriment of the black man. Yes, that happens. We are not going to sit here and pretend that it doesn't. It happens all of the time. So, and the way you can tell is when you look at Hollywood and you look at video games, and you look at animations, or you look at TVs, or anything that comes out of a big produced factory in the West. You always see that they always have the strong black woman and the submissive or weaker black man, or they always have a black woman being a leader being in charge. And it's funny, me personally, I already know black women in my life who be like, "Don't call me independent. I'm not independent. Don't call me strong. I'm not strong. I'm weak." Well, not weak, but it's like I'm not strong either. But it's like they constantly try to put black women in these power positions, in these leader positions, in these positions in which they don't actually want. And they do that because it tires out the women. And they want to tire out the women, and they want to have them tired and then look at their men who are often disenfranchised because we're always given less of an opportunity in this racial socioeconomic hierarchy. We are given less than is given to the black woman, and it's done strategically because when the black woman makes all the money, or even though she doesn't, but when a black woman feels like she makes all the money and the black man feels like the black man isn't helping, then she starts to feel like she's by herself and she's all alone, and there's no man that can really help her or cater to her or give her what she needs. And now she's upset and she's angry, and now she's like 30 something years old, and now she's bitter because now she's getting to that age where having children is going to start being a problem. And it's like now you wasted off the youth years of the black woman, which is helping us to not procreate. And then you're making sure that black men between the ages of 18 to 35 aren't really getting jobs like that. And when we don't get jobs, we go to prison, which makes it also hard for us to procreate. This whole gender divide thing and what Tyler Perry is talking about, Tyler Perry was just being facetious. He wasn't even being honest. He wasn't being serious. The context of what he was saying was serious, but the way and the fanfare way in which he provided it was literally just for clicks. But it's showing how the programming is working so well that we have black men and black women not wanting to come together because black women feel like, oh, I make all the money, I do all of this stuff. And it's like, that's what you signed up for. You signed the social contract to be the head of household when you decided to start working. You know why? Because that money could go to another man so that he can take care of a family. And when you start to come in and competing with men who want to take care of families while you only want to take care of yourself and your children if you have any, now you are saying that I also want to be a head of household. So why are you getting upset when you find a man who wants you to take care of him? You are literally deciding to work so that you can become a head of household. That's what it comes with. that's the balance part of working, is that you become a head of household. And if you don't want to become a head of household, then what does that mean? Maybe you need not to work, or maybe you need to come down off a high position. And of course, it's like, of course I'm not going to do that. And I wouldn't expect any black woman to do that, honestly, unless you find a man who makes more than you, which is honestly not a bad thing either. However, you have to be realistic due to the racial social hierarchy that has been constructed to keep us at the bottom, though. We have to be realistic. And what Tyler Perry is honestly alluding to is what Zoe Williams was talking about when he says, when he asks the question, what type of currencies is there to manhood other than fiat American dollar? And it's like women will give like, being considering, being caring, being handy, and all this other stuff. But it's like, all right, cool, we'll go after that instead of the money. And it's like, oh no, I need the money. And it's just like, do you really? Or is that what you're always after? That's what you're only after in the first place. And it's like this constant back and forth, and you have people trying to go overseas to find people. You have women swirling to find people. And it's just like, we just keep doing everything we can to not procreate with each other. And that is the intended goal of all of this stuff that's happening to us. And this is just what Tyler Perry is pointing out. And the thing is that if you do not like being the head of household, then maybe you and your job need to get a divorce, or you and your job need to separate from each other, because that is automatically what it comes with. And if you don't want that responsibility that comes with working, then hey, you got to find something else. Because I know back in the day when like after slavery and whatnot, it's like women were the ones who, stayed at home while boys go out to work. The girls either stayed at home or went to school, like I said before. But it's like they weren't working. And even when they worked, it was to support the man, not just to make a whole lot of money so they can buy a Louis bag, make a whole lot of money so they can go on trips with their girlfriends, or make a whole lot of money so that they can live a lavish lifestyle and keep up with the Joneses. That's not what the women were working for. The women were working because we all were in this together. We are a collective. We are a community. And we were helping each other in the community. Men by being more so the blue collar handyman, people, and sometimes also white collar, and women being the white collar, or like teachers and stuff like that, counselors and whatnot, doctors, nurses and whatnot. Like that's what they were doing in order to help the community thrive and continue. But it's like we've let this capitalistic society divide us so much on the basis of money that human interaction and human relationships are now a secondary thought, are now a back burner issue, rather than finding someone who you're compatible with. Or not even finding someone who you're compatible with, just being a person who can work through issues, period. There's so many people who aren't even willing to work through issues. And that's even worse than not finding someone who you're compatible with, because you'll never find someone you're compatible with if you're not someone who could work through a problem. And so this is what I feel that with Tyler Perry, he's not being serious about finding a man who can only pay a light bill. If he's talking about that, my guess is that he's really meaning, like, let's say, like with his instance, he was living in his car and he was doing everything to make sure that his productions took off. And that required a huge sacrifice of him not being able to, have a home. And it's like, if your man is like really trying to get it out the mud, getting it out the mud always involves getting very, very dirty and having very, very little. Now, if your man is trying to do something to get something out the mud, then it's like, if you really see the vision, if you see what he's really trying to do, and if he could produce something, produce a little bit of something, not like, oh, I produced $1 million. No, if he could produce like a couple of dollars, or he could produce a couple of eyes, constantly growing and whatnot. If he shows you growth, then it's like, all right, yeah, maybe you could take a chance on bro and like hold him down while he's getting it out the mud. Or like if you're just an artist, or if the man is just an artist or something, or if the man needs to go back to school and he can't really balance school and working a full-time job. Maybe he only needs a part-time job so that he could be able to get through school quicker or something like that. It's like holding a man down while he's trying to do something. Like, yeah, that's of course I would not advise a black woman to get with a dude who at least doesn't have something going on that he wants to create or do or whatnot. I would never encourage that. However, if he is doing something, then it's like, all right, well, now if you're already good and you're already great on your career and be able to take care of him, take care of yourself and whatnot, then go ahead and maybe bring bro on and like try to support him while he's doing his thing so that he can get you guys to the level where you can live that lavish lifestyle, have them Birkin bags, have them Louis bags, have those trips and whatnot, so that he can get you there. But it's like we have to have a trust and a faith in each other as a collective, as a community. We have to learn to look outside further than just ourselves. We have to look further. We have to be able to think further than the tip of our nose, because whenever we think that far ahead, we never get anywhere. And we're constantly separated, and we're easy to conquer because we keep letting this money of this country, this fiat currency, which don't have any real value and it's constantly losing value, we're letting this thing tear us apart, and we're never getting anywhere as a group, as a collective. And we still own very little money in this country anyway. We only have like what 1/2 of 1% or something. We still only have like 1/2 of 1% of the wealth in this country. And we're never going to be able to get further than that if we don't come together. And if black men and black women don't come together and family up. We have to family up. And I know black women are tired of like, oh, I'm being the head of household, I'm taking care of all of this, and a man don't do nothing. Don't get a man that don't do nothing. Maybe you have to start looking at some men who don't just lay good pipe. Or some men who don't just have the 6-pack or something. Or men who just don't have like all of that stuff. Maybe you have to find a man who has to grow into that stuff, because a lot of us don't have fathers. A lot of us didn't have fathers growing up, and we have to figure everything out on our own. Maybe you have to give that man time to figure himself out. Maybe. And for black men, that black woman didn't really have a black man around to also, make her feel safe and secure in herself, make her feel beautiful. Maybe you have to take on that role to make sure that she feels safe around you, that she feels valued around you, that she feels sexy around you. These are the things that we need to provide to each other without always expecting something in return. We are a community of people, and we need to see ourselves as such. The Asians do it. Maybe not the Asian Americans, but so much, but the Asian people do it. Hispanic people do it. White people do it. It's like everybody in this country, LGBTQIA people do it. Jewish people do it. Everybody can do it. They can come together for something, but it's like we need something to come together around. And if we have something to come together around, I promise you we'll be able to get out of this situation where we don't have to be worrying about, oh, a man's not making enough money, or this woman keeps acting all rash and crazy. I guarantee you we will be able to get out of this situation if we think collective minded and have something that we can all be united on, which is what Tariq, Jason Black, and Professor Black Truth and all these other people be talking about, which is staying on code with each other. We need to be codified. And that code will connect us and link us together so that we can do what we need to do. But it's like so many black people are just caught up in just what can I get from me? And it's not just about you. It is about us as a group, as a black American diaspora. It is about what we can do for each other. Like what that one president said, it's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. It's not about what we can do for you. It's about what we can do for each other. Now consider this me throwing that hat up in the air and assembling all the Negro Avengers so that we can start coming together, black men and black women, and get together and get united like how we was on that Montgomery dock. That's how black men and black women need to be always with each other. Because you saw how them white women start getting out there scrapping when they white men was getting toppled. And then you saw how them black women came out there and started piecing up them white women, because the black men ain't just about to just come out there just hitting all the white women like that. Like the chairman got in there, got a little dirty, but that's about it. But it's like we need to be united on these gender issues, just like how we were united on jumping on the white folks for trying to act out on their privilege. And until we do that, don't expect to get anywhere, and always expect to be the head of household as a woman, and always expect to be dealing with these crazy women that, you know, we also help produce as black men. So that was my, I had to be true, bro. I had to be true to my black. I had to be true to my black opinion, my black thought, and my black perspective. If y'all like the take on this, go ahead and hit me with a like, slap me upside the forehead with a subscribe. And if you didn't like it, hey, I don't care, bro. Like, we need to come together. And if you don't want to come together, that's what your dislike means. You don't want us to come together. But yeah, if you liked it, go ahead and like it, subscribe. Got more videos coming out. I really appreciate y'all, whoever, like, you know, listens and sticks around or whatnot. I appreciate you, I value you, and let's get this true black out the mud. You feel me? All right, y'all have a good one.